metal casting? We'll try to understand. It is the oldest manufacturing process, one of the oldest, I should say, oldest manufacturing process, slowly moving from process of art to science. It took a long period, unfortunately, more than 6,000 to 6,500 years. Slowly now the people started treating like a science. I hope if you, the coming years, it will have a better future for this casting. And casting is one of the process because of three reasons. One is using casting, I can produce from few grams to several hundred tons casting produced at it as a single piece. If you want a 5-gram casting, I can produce. If you want 160-ton single piece casting, I can produce that. Tell me, any other process can do this? Absolutely impossible, right? We can't do that. Small casting, 5 grams casting, if you want, immediately you can see some of the castings are small castings are there here also. One of the castings shown here on the top, this is one of the biggest casting. That's about 5-ton casting. It is one of the gearbox of a what is called as the windmills. Look at this. 5-ton is also possible. 5 grams also, but no other process. Forging has got its own limitations as per the weight is concerned. The what is called any other process you take. Machining has got its own limitation. It cannot have the very big castings, 164 ton. Partly you may have to do it at a time. You may not be able to do the machining at all. Many restrictions, but this is the only process. Any weight of the castings can be handled without much of the problems. Simple to intricate, right? If you want a simple shape, we can produce easily in the casting. Simple shape can be produced by any process, whether it is a machining, forming, or any process you can produce. If it is too complicated shapes, that too internal complexities. When I say internal, I hope understand. If this is a casting, this is an internal ID complexities. If the too much of complexity in internal ID, I think other process cannot handle it, right? Whether it is a forging or machining, really difficult to handle such situation. But in a casting, any level of complexity can be handled. This is the second important for the important what is called the features of the metal castings. Other one is one-off to mass production can be manufactured. If you want one number at the lowest possible cost, I can produce. If you want lakhs together, I can produce at the lowest possible cost, right? We know that forging, if 1 or 2 numbers is too costly, all of us know, right? No forging, people will not go to the forging unless there is a huge volume is there, right? Otherwise it will become too costly. Hence, but the casting is the one process. Even one number can be produced at a lowest possible cost. May not be equal to the 1 lakh component what we are producing, but if you want 1 lakh also can be produced. These three things makes the casting process more unique, more special process in the world today. That means several hundred tons, few grams to several hundred tons. The thumb rule is if it is more than 500 kg casting weight, if it is more than 500 kg casting weight, only process available is metal casting process today. We can't do it by any other process. There is a small competition in this area is the welding. We can produce many component and weld it. That's a possibility. Otherwise, absolutely in any other process, like whether it is forging or machining, more than 500 kg, I can't produce by those processes. If it is too complicated shapes, particularly internal complexity can be handled only by a metal casting route. If too complex, you have no other option. You have to go to the foundries. If it is a more than 500 to 1 ton casting component weight, you have no option. You have to go to the foundry. These two, and if it is a one-off number, you have no other option to go to the foundry if you want to produce at the lowest possible cost. These three things makes the entire casting process unique in the world today. Because of that, even with all this up and downs in the as far as the quality parameters are considered, or the what is considered, the still casting process is going strong, because if it is a more than 500 kgs, I don't have an alternative. If it is a too complex shape, I don't have an alternative. If it is a one-off numbers and mass production at a lowest possible cost, we don't have an option. Hence, people prefers to go to the metal casting processes. I have just to what is called as a demonstrate here. I have used some of the informations in the articles. Look at this. This is one of the front cradle structure. I hope you understand what is front cradle structure in an automotive. where on all our engines are all kept on that in the vehicle. If you open the bonnet, right, all the engines, so many things are kept no on some structure. The structure is called the front cradle structure. 1950, this front cradle structure was done by a steel sheets. We can see the first one figure here. Steel sheet it is, steel sheet construction it is. It was having 46 parts and the weight was 28 kgs. This was at 1950. Come to 2010, right? People started using aluminium castings many cases, right? That is 6 parts with a 16 kg aluminium casting they started using. Recently in many cars, few car categories, they started using magnesium castings also because of the weight, what is called the density advantages of that they used. See that from the metal forming, they moved to the casting process now. Another one is what instrument panel, what all of us know, inside the car, there is an instrument. Many instruments are there. There is a panel to keep all those instrument panel beam, right? Today, 1950, it was the welded steel sheets. Today, people are moving to the magnesium tubular over casting. They are going to the casting route. These are all the things shows the importance of the metal casting process. There is a new alloy because magnesium casting is easier. Hence, people are going for the casting process. Many advantages. Look at this. It was a 30 parts in 1950. It has become 1 part. Part consolidation has taken place here, right? And it was clubbed here or assembled here. And the weight was 12 kg. Now it has become 4 kg. Weight reduction has taken place. Metal, what is called part consolidation has taken place. And that's what the casting process is given today to the automotive industries. Hence, it is very important to understand the metal castings, right? And what are the futures of the metal castings and all those things. Okay, with this brief introduction, let us try to quickly, I think I assume that the basic metal casting process, you know, I quickly run through this particular process one by one. The first important one for the metal casting process is the pattern and the core box. Pattern is called heart of a foundry always, because how well the pattern is designed and manufactured, right? That level of problems will come down in the foundries, right? If the pattern is good, well designed, we'll have least problems in the foundry. That means the problem faced in the foundries is contributed to the maximum extent by the how pattern is designed and how pattern is manufactured. Hence, it is very important to design the right pattern, correct patterns at the correct parting lines and all those things, and manufacture also, right? The finish, right? Their way of manufacturing and what are all the other features we are giving, all plays a very, very important role in the pattern. Hence, pattern is called what is called as the one of the important things for the foundry. The first things is if it is a sand casting, we require a pattern. Pattern can be of a 1/2 or 2/2 or 3/2 or 4/2. Maximum percentage, it is 2/2 patterns always available, right? You can see here the pattern is fixed on the match plate. If it is a mass production need to be done, it is always better to fix it on a match plate because you'll get a consistency, because 2/2 need to be assembled. If it is a loose piece and do it, assembly may become a problem, and mold to mold assembly can become a problem. All those things can be completely avoided using this fixing it on a match plate. If any mass production, automated foundry, always patterns will be fixed on the match plate. With all the gating and risering system, it will be fixed on the match plate. That comes directly to the mold making shop. This is one of the important, the pattern you need to, let us go into the details, 1 or 2 slides about the pattern also, pattern and the core box. In a sand casting process, another important is the sand mixing operations. When I say sand mixing, we know that we use silica sand. Directly, I can't use the silica sand to make the molds because it has to bind. It should become, strength should be there in the mold, or it should become hard. It should retain the shape when you form a mold. Hence, we need to mix the sand with the binders, right? That mixing is a very, very important. Sand and binders need to be mixed before that sand comes to the mold making process. Today, we know that those are seen foundries. In a laboratory or a small scale foundries, people use the muller to do that. But in a large scale foundries where sand requirement is too high, they use the continuous mixer. This is what I am shown here is a continuous mixer. roughly about, right? 30,000 tons of sand can be mixed, use this continuous mixer, and fully automated, right? The control of the sand, control of the binders, everything is automated here. If you set all those things, it will mix properly, and a much better quality sand is possible to get using the continuous mixer. Hence, continuous mixers are very popular today in a sand casting foundry. Using pattern, using mixed sand, we will produce the mold. The bottom one, what you are seeing, is the one half of the mold, right? If it is a die casting, is a little different process. I'll come to that later, right? It's a what is called as a sand, one half of the mold. Similarly, the one more half of the mold is also produced. You can see using this one half of the pattern, one mold is produced. One more half of the pattern is fixed on the one more match plate. That mold is also produced. Then they are assembled together. Cope and drag, it is called. Drag and cope, it is called. Something I am lowering inside, you'll be able to see this is called as a core. Core are meant to produce the internal shape, right? Anything, let us say this is the casting, there is an internal portions here. If you want to produce this internal portion, we require a core. Here also, to get an internal portion, the core is kept inside the mold. Then other half of the mold is also assembled, right? The scope and drag both are assembled here with the core at the center. What is the next process? The melting. We need to melt the metal in the furnaces, right? Generally, induction furnace is used in the foundries today. Electrical induction furnaces are used because of a lot of advantages of this. That been melted and taken in the ladle and poured into the molds. Right? This is a general process of any foundries, right? If it is a sand casting, it goes exactly like this, right? If it is a die casting, pattern is not required because the molds are already done in the die. Only keep the core inside the mold, assemble the two half of the die and pour it. That means these two halves, what we are prepared now in the sand, it is already available in the metal, right? Keep the core inside, assemble the mold and melt the liquid metal and pour it. This sand mixing and pattern business is not there in the die casting processes. That's all the difference. We'll go into the details of those processes in detail. But in general, what is required is you have to make the mold. We have to make the core separately, assemble it, then melt the liquid metals in the furnace and pour the liquid metal into the pour. I think why metal castings can create a complex part geometry. If you want too complex, you have no other option to go to the metal casting route. Can create both external, internal, any complex shapes it can produce. Few castings are net shape, few are near net shape. That means, what do you mean by net shape? Net shape is the one I produce a casting directly goes to an assembly, next assembly. Such things are called net shape. Near net shape, with one or two small operation, it will go to the assembly. Such castings are also produced in a foundry today. Few are net shape in an investment casting and a die casting. Net shape castings are produced few. Near net shape, many near net shape castings are also produced. Can produce very large parts. If it is thumb rule is if it is more than 500 kg, we have no other option. We have to go to the metal casting route. Some casting methods are suited for mass production. If you want a mass production also, we can do it in a foundry. Yes, these are all the advantage. Yes, then what are the problems with the foundries today, right? Limitations on mechanical properties. All of us know we cannot get the strength. Let us take an example. What is called as the connecting rod. Connecting rod today is produced by casting route also, produced by forging route also. It is produced by what is called powder metallurgy route also. If you produce with the same chemical composition, same alloy, if you produce by all the three routes, definitely forging will have a better strength than the casting. Look at this. Chemical composition is same, let us say, almost same, right? It's also having medium carbon steel. Forging also is used a medium carbon steel. With all that, is the same chemical composition. Generally, casting will have lesser mechanical properties like a strength and other properties, but forging will have a better properties in it. The reason is always that is one of the disadvantages of the casting. This is something to do with a microstructure. If I use a casting route, I will get a coarse grind structure. coarse grind structure. But in a forging, I will get more fine grind structure. Always you should know this is one of the rules of a metallurgy. Finer the grind, better the strength of the component. This is one of the way of hardening, strengthening the materials. Finer the grind, better the strength of the material. Since we have a finer grind structures in the forging, we will have a much more better properties than the casting. Hence, the casting by its nature, it is having limitations on the mechanical properties. Poor dimensional accuracies. This is one of the another problems, right? We cannot get some micron accuracy, right? Plus minus 0.5, so plus minus 5 micron accuracy, we may not be able to get by a casting route. That means there is a limitation on dimensional accuracy and the surface finish. You want some grinding finish, you can't expect from the casting route. These are all the limitations. We have a low dimensional accuracy, best dimensional accuracy possible. Generally, people will tell 1 mm and all those things. No, there are better casting process today. Best dimensional accuracy possible by a casting route is plus or minus 0.2 mm today. Which casting process can produce this, we'll see later. The best surface finish it can produce today, right? That what it can produce is close to about 100 microinch, 80 to 100 microinch surface finish is possible to get from the casting process. Beyond that, it is very difficult by a casting route. Another 2-in-1 safety hazard for the workers due to a hot molten. There's people, those who are working in a foundry, they will be handling hot metal. There are a lot of safety issues. A lot of cares are taken today, right, in a foundries to avoid all those things. With all that, that is not a white collared job, right? We have to work with molten metal. We have to work with sand. We need to work with some chemical, what is called as a binders. All these things are required. You may be handling a heavy weight, right? All these things are the safety issues, and pollution may be not as good what we see in a what we are all sitting in front of the computer, and what that type of what is called as a ambience you may not get in the foundry, and there will be some dust and all those things. These are all the safety hazards of a foundry. Environmental problems, yes, there will be some environmental issues also there. With all this, right, this the olden days, this problem was much higher. Maybe 30 years back, this problem was much higher. Today, the modern foundries, the things are slowly getting changed. The people started using robots in the foundries, fully automated foundries are there. People may not go into all the spots and get into the operations of the foundries today. A lot of improvements have been taken place to improve the safety hazard and the environmental issues, to take care of the environmental issues, also to take care of the accuracy of the casting, and to bring in the quality consistency in the foundry. So many automations have come into the foundry today.